Welcome everyone to the next episode of the MedSpa Accelerator. I'm joined today with Billy.
Hey!
And we got a cool, hopefully informative and educational episode for you guys. In episode 40, we talked about that we wanted to bring you guys more tactical content, like actual educational content that you can, take back home or take with you to your business. Maybe not home, right? But, and really apply it.
Yeah, actually implement it right away.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about how to handle the phones for optimal results, guys.
Yes. I think this is optimal. It is actually really important because that phone call can be the first physical interaction that a new customer has with you, or even a recurrent customer has with your business. So it's just kind of can strengthen the relationship, or it can really make it bad.
Yeah, and so we'll kind of spend some time talking about why it's important, but we have some really good treats for you guys because make sure to listen towards the end because we're actually going to play some recorded phone calls, some bad phone calls, and then some good ones too, so you guys can get an idea of what we're talking about, and and I want to say this is actually very interesting because a lot of the times when we talk to some of our clients, they don't really have a good system to have transparency and really see how their front desk is doing. And we get it, obviously you guys are working, doing your thing, doing treatments if you're doing treatments, right? And you can't always be monitoring how your staff is actually doing when it comes to handling people when they either come in or when they handle the phones.
Right.
And so having that transparency in your business is going to be super important. Another reason to get patient gem.
Definitely. Yeah. And I was going to say also having that system set up, because whenever you have a new person, if you already have a system to help onboard that person and a training that goes along with it, then it's just going to make your business grow flawlessly.
Yeah.
And you always have those faster, and they will feel more comfortable with their jobs, which is why too I definitely would recommend for you to listen to this episode, but also invite your staff to listen along with you, or just send them the link to it. They might also learn a few things here and there about how to improve what they're already doing really good, or maybe just change a couple of things here and there to make it better.
For sure. All right, well, let's go ahead and dive right in.
Okay. So why is it so important to go through a training?
Well, it's so important, and Billy kind of mentioned this in the intro where we talked about it's literally the first impression that a new potential patient is going to have with your practice, right? And so you want to make sure that it's a good one. And so all the interaction that they've had with you so far has all been digital. Maybe they've seen your videos, they've seen some of your social content, they saw your ad, and then now they've actually come in. And so think about it like this, we've built all this momentum and we got them super excited to want to get this treatment done. But then when they actually call in, if the person answering the phone is not doesn't match them at that excitement and really kind of, I guess really just meet them at where they're at, and it's just
puts them at ease.
Yeah, it puts them at ease sometimes. It depends on where that person's coming from, right? It's gonna just kill the momentum, and it's probably just gonna end up being a bad situation. The person will maybe they'll schedule, but they won't show up, or they just won't schedule at all of a sudden if they hear that it doesn't really sound like a legit business. And we have some examples of that where it's just kind of so anyway, the first impression is everything. This is the first physical interaction that somebody's going to have with you, so we can't really emphasize
and then
that enough.
It goes even beyond than that, because maybe you do a great first impression, but this is a customer that keeps on coming back, and then suddenly they have that bad interaction. It just leaves a bad taste of mouth.
Yeah, for sure.
And you just don't want to. You want to make sure that you take care of your customers, make every single interaction with them a VIP interaction.
For sure.
After all, we're in the aesthetics field, and it's something that once they kind of buy it for themselves, it's because they want to feel like $1 million. So that should be in every touch point.
Yeah, and that's what we say a lot of times too. It's obviously, you understand that there is a ton of competition for, medical spas in your local area. And so every single one of these details is super important, guys, because if somebody, they don't need to go to your practice. They can go anywhere else, and so if they're not going to get that VIP, that the treatment where they're going to feel better after leaving your practice, then they're not going to choose to work with you. They're just going to go somewhere else. So it's just super, super important. Yeah. And so one of the things that we do want to say is that obviously when somebody calls in, you want to have a high tone, right? You want to sound happy and excited, right?
Yeah.
And the goal of that conversation is to really get them excited for the consultation, right? You want to make sure that they're excited, that you add on to the momentum that was already built with, your ads, your social media, the service in itself, your video content, all that stuff. And you just add to it because, it's gonna make them a lot more likely to show up for their consultation. Right. So that's just super important.
And that's something that a good impression can do. Definitely, like we said, not only meet them in that excitement, but also if they do have questions they're a little bit concerned about or unsure whether they should do this treatment for themselves, having somebody that is knowledgeable about the services that you have and kind of meet those expectations for them can make wonders for your business.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes with a bad impression.
For sure.
If they have a horrible first phone call experience, then are they going to call back?
Yeah, they're not going to call back, and they'll probably go and tell their friends about it. Oh my God, I just called this one practice and the person on the phone was so horrible. I was super excited, but then I just kind of got turned off. And don't go to that place.
Yeah, I recommend this other place. Yeah, you don't want that.
You don't want that, guys. So, obviously you want to minimize that as much as possible, and it starts with the phones. That's the number one place.
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend if you're getting new staff for your front desk, it's not just an easy job. I wouldn't say it's you should just get anybody to do it. It's somebody that has to be committed, has great customer service skills, has a good tone, and kind of ends up loving your business as well.
For sure. If you can find somebody who has worked at Chick-fil-A, I'm telling you, that is the best type of employee you could hire. They're doing the Lord's work over there, Lord's chicken.
Yes, you want that passion. The people that work there, they do get that passion in them about we are doing the best. And they make you feel
great. You know what I mean? As soon as you walk in, you feel really good, and you're kind of sad that you left every single time.
Or the guy from Starbucks this morning.
Oh yeah, we went to pick up some Starbucks this morning. The guy was super friendly, and we went through the drive-through, but he was being super nice and funny.
There you go, my friend. Have a grand day. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And it leaves a great note. The rest of the after that, we were he was really nice. But okay, so let's actually go into the tactics of it, right?
Yeah, so let's talk about foundation. So the first thing is that you want to have the right mindset, and I guess this is a good leeway into kind of talking about that because we talked about hiring the right person. This person needs to have the right mindset coming in, right? Mm-hmm. And so I always tell people, look, number one priority is that when you get somebody on the phone, you want to build rapport, right? You want to make them feel good, and then obviously you want to, probably go through that whole kind of dance, right, where you maybe answer their questions, whatnot. But then overall, the goal is that you want to schedule a consultation, right? And so, and that's what I tell people. Understand that every time the phone call, you have a phone call or even a new lead is generated in your business, that is an opportunity for you to have a conversation with people. And this is what we talked about even when we do advertising. We say, advertising is not just a one-way, conversation. It's a two-way. And you want to be able to kind of meet them where they're at and really be able to communicate, to them in regards to maybe what they're going through at that specific moment in time and how your business can actually solve the problem that they might have, right? And so you want to, have that conversation with them where you educate them, you nurture them a little bit, and you're trying to build a relationship, Sorry, go ahead.
And this is a great way of thinking about it, especially when it's a cold lead. Somebody that just saw your ad on Facebook doesn't still know your brand that well, doesn't know your business. This is the best way to get that started. Especially,
and I want to say specifically in this industry because the MedSpa industry is still relatively new compared to, dentistry and, some of these other, you need medical eyeglasses and other kind of services and stuff like that.
More like the need.
Yeah, right. And so it's still relatively new in the marketplace, and there's technology that is coming out every single year, guys. So people at the end of the day, they're going to have questions. They don't really know. They know they have a problem, whatever it might be, right? And you're there to kind of guide them. And really what we tell people all the time is that your goal is to help them make a wise purchasing decision.
Yes.
Everybody wants to make a wise purchasing decision,
yes.
you know?
Yes.
And so you want to kind of help guide them through this process. And you're really there as a consultant, really, you know, like trying to help them, like, well, how, like, you know, what is going to best solve my problem, right? And one of the things that we find is that sometimes the front desk might not be fully equipped to kind of handle some of those questions, but I would say that they should be equipped. Maybe not to the full extent of the actual, you know, NP or, you know, the actual practitioner that is going to be there performing the treatment, but they should have some knowledge, you know, and that's where the training comes in. You want to be doing, you know, I want to say quarterly or every 6 months, you want to be doing training for the, you know, for the practice and for the front desk specifically. So really, really important thing.
So if you are a staff member and you're listening to this, your job is really, really important. And to get into this mindset, you have to think of it that, you know, like, what are your goals? And having that in mind, like, you are solving somebody's problem, whether that is like maybe they have acne scars that they want to get rid of, you can help them or guide them into the right direction. Of course, you're not going to do a whole consultation on the phone, but you want to like let them know that there is something out there for them and that you can be the solution, or the business can be the solution for that. So that's how you want to guide them through it. So some tips to get into that mindset as well. It could be that, you know, like getting yourself in that place, you know, because customer service is about like, I mean, we get it. We're people. You might not always be 100% happy 100% of the time. But for the most part, you want to make sure that you get that energy up before answering the phone.
Yeah. You want to get hyped, you know?
Yeah, definitely you want to get hyped. So like we've been traveling and visiting some of our clients, and one of them had like standing desks for their front desk staff. And I thought that was a great idea, because there is something about like standing up and feeling energized, and
your mind is more active. You know, you can kind of walk around. A lot of people I like walking around.
When you're on your phone.
You know,
definitely.
And so your mind is just a little bit more active,
and
you know,
alert.
and you can, you're more alert. And I feel like it puts you in a better position to handle.
Puts you on your toes.
Yeah,
you know?
like, you know, kind of handle sometimes these tough situations where a phone call might be a tough situation, you know, like. And
they might ask questions that you don't have answers to. They might not be in the greatest mood. Sometimes they can even be rude.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Like, if it's not that person, it can be the next one. Don't let that bring you down.
And do whatever you need to do to get excited for the day, you know, like do some jumping jacks.
Some desk exercises, do a little wiggle before, get your favorite drink, talk with somebody a little bit before you start on it, you know, just kind of some bullet points. You can have some like sticky notes with like inspirational quotes, whatever gets you in the mood to actually like be happy, be there, help some people out.
And that's what Billy was saying. I mean, the main thing that I was going to reiterate, that you want to be in a good mood when you're doing these phone calls, right? And you're receiving these people. And so obviously how you feel is going to be portrayed in the practice. And think about it like this, like, you know, if you're a front desk, a staff member, and you're listening to this, you know, you are the face, you know, of the practice, right? You are the first, the first face, the first interaction that they have is going to be with you. And so you want to make it the best it can be. So super,
and we get it. Like I said, like, you might not be having the best day ever. You might have been late for work, your alarm didn't ring, something happened, right? But try your best to, you know, you can turn your day around. So see it that way as well, right? And you can just, you know, leave your worries behind. This is your work time, right? This is action. And like I said, if you do have that mindset of like, I'm actually helping people, and you love that already, then it's going to be a great day.
And I was going to, you know, add on to that too, you know, because, you know, sometimes a lot of people don't really value the work that they do at the front desk, but I would say you have one of the most important jobs ever, because you are kind of like the door between, you know, the patient and the doctor, right? And so a lot of times, the really interesting thing is that you have the power, you have the power to influence how this person's life is going to change, right? Yeah. You are the threshold, and so you being able to open up that door and really receive these people with an open heart, or whatever you want to call it, is really going to give them the opportunity to, maybe solve that problem that they've had for years. And at this point, that they're just going to feel more confident. They're going to be happier. They're going to have better lives, so on and so forth. And so you have that power.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So it's super important. Your job is so important, and it's so valuable. And I just want to build you guys up and encourage you to.
Yeah, and you can see it too. Think of your own experiences when you go anywhere else, like any restaurant, any other service type of business. Anywhere you go, you're gonna see the customer service, and you can be a little bit more proactive into I really like how they treated me here or there, or what they did. Like the little stuff like we said about Starbucks. Like today was a great interaction, and. Wherever you go, you're going to be a little bit more alert in that, and that can help you overall do a better job.
For sure.
So part of the foundations as well is also, we want to talk about the expectations for phone operations. I feel like phone operations in itself are very valuable. And like I said at the beginning, having those operations already set for every member in your front desk staff is going to be very valuable.
Yeah. So this is really important, guys, because a lot of practices that we talk to don't really have what's called SOPs, which stands for Standard Operation Procedures.
Yeah.
And make sure to check out our next episode, because we actually go through a whole process that for bringing in, onboarding new patients. So our SOP, the one that we've built for our clients, and we kind of talk about all the things that need to happen every single step of the process. Yeah. But here's just a quick zoom in on one of those processes, and it's really just handling the phones, right?
Yeah.
And so, first thing is that obviously if somebody calls or if a new lead is generated, we want to make sure that we follow up with them as soon as possible. Yeah.
Yes.
And, so we want to make sure that we try to get in touch with everybody. If we missed a phone call, well, first of all, we shouldn't be missing phone calls, but let's just say somebody, they call after hours or whatever happened, right? We want to make sure that we're prompt and that we get back to people ASAP. Again, think about competition, think about convenience, think about why companies like Netflix, Amazon have really thrived in today's age, and why even what was the 60% of malls, or am I exaggerating that? Was it more like 30?
I don't recall.
Anyway, a high percentage of malls have been closing down in 2019, mainly because, of the competition of these all online companies, right? People really value convenience. They value how fast somebody gets back to them, or how fast something gets, they can acquire something. And so, it's all about speed, guys. Speed is super, super important. And so you want to make sure that if they call you, you call them back. If not, they're going to call somebody else. They're going to get treated somewhere else. And so super,
and there's
super
even
important.
That statistic that we've been talking about within the 3 to 5 minutes, right?
Yeah. So after the 5 minutes, the chances of you getting in touch with that person is actually going to drop by 400%. And this was a study done by the Harvard Business Review. And so super, super important, guys. And that's just, I don't know. I can't emphasize it enough.
Right. But at the same time, if they don't answer right away, don't get discouraged. That's why too, you also need to implement some automatic text
automations. Yeah. So we do a mix of
voicemails.
So statistically, it's said that you want to have 8 to 12 touch points, and that's where you can see an 80% reach rate.
Yeah.
And so they don't. I'm not talking about 8 to 12 phone calls, guys. It's almost impossible to be generating or doing so many phone calls. So we do a mix of phone calls, text messages, emails, ringless voicemails. We can also do, and honestly, there's even more. I mean, you could even do sending them actual mail. If you happen to acquire their actual address, think about how much of an impact that does when you're going the extra mile and you're sending them some mail.
Yeah.
So so that's one thing. Another thing that we will say is make sure to follow up strategically. You want to make if somebody doesn't, if you call within the first 5 minutes and they don't answer, then at that point we would say, well, you know what, don't just call random hours, call in strategic hours. And there's different times that work best for depending on where you're at in the world.
Yeah.
But in most circumstances, you're going to see the best reach times when you're calling early in the morning, 8:30 a.m., so on and so forth, during lunchtime, so 11:30 to 1:30. And then
the best time,
and then afternoon, right? When somebody gets out of work, after 5 p.m., after 5:30, you're going to see a high reach rate. Now, if you're not open to that time, well, I would actually want to encourage you to make somebody available and actually start reaching out to people at that time.
I actually do love that because it's after your business might be closed already, and so your front desk staff doesn't have as much of their everyday task on their plate, right? Like they are done for the day, so all they have is this 1 hour, 2 hours dedicated to the phones, following up with your leads, following up to see or remind people for their next day appointment, whatever that might look like. And it's just like, that's all they're doing. So they're ready for it. No distractions whatsoever. You can get so much more done that way.
For sure. And so the other thing that we would say in regards to this is you want to try to schedule people as soon as possible. One of the things that we've kind of seen is that sometimes people schedule the consultation 2-4 weeks out, and it's
sometimes even months.
Yeah, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And that's again another thing that just kills momentum, guys.
Yeah.
Like if somebody calls and they're super excited, but then they can't see you till a week and a half, 2 weeks later, it just kind of kills it. So I would say, try to get people scheduled in within the first 3 days of them calling. Now, there's some circumstances where that doesn't, obviously you can't do that. Maybe their schedule is conflicting or they work or all these other things. Try to never let that fall on you. Try to never let that, oh my God, we're just so booked that we can't see this person till 2 weeks out. If that is your case, then it means that you're doing really, really well. So congratulations. Yes. It's time to hire another person. It's time to start scaling your business because, you have the demand. Now you just need to supply that demand, right?
You need the capacity now.
Yeah. and so, really consider that. Even if somebody does say oh, well, I can't till 2 weeks later or whatever, don't be afraid to try to encourage them to maybe see about coming in a little bit sooner. And it's just as simple as asking them a question. Oh, by any chance, would it be possible for you to come in if it's Monday, maybe come in on Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to ask, guys. If they say no, okay, well, that's fine. But you did everything you could to try to get them to come in as soon as possible, so you're trying to influence that as much as you can.
Definitely. And then this one doesn't really fall under this, but I would say it's kind of like an important one. Not having really long answering machines.
Oh gosh, I hate that.
So if you do have one, just listen to it again. Think how annoying or frustrating that might be for your patients, and then try to compromise a little bit.
Yeah. And so, I would say time it. Really see how long does it take if I'm calling your practice. How long does it take for me to actually get a hold of someone? And it's simple customer service, guys. Think about it when you're calling the phone company line. Think about when your internet goes out or you're having issues with whatever home appliance. Your electricity, your air conditioner, your internet, your phone, etc., and you're trying to get a hold of somebody. Don't you always feel better when you actually get a hold of someone super, super fast?
Yeah.
100% every single time.
I think long machine were a thing maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah. And you get it. Sometimes you need to have them because you have some medical, you need to say some medical things on the answering machine and stuff like that. But honestly, you could revisit that and you could try to make it shorter. Some things don't need to be there, and that'll be a fun little challenge, see how you can actually minimize the word count in that and then just make it shorter.
Yeah,
again,
definitely.
because you're killing that momentum, right? It's the longer somebody waits to get a hold of you guys, and everything we just talked about, the different companies, the convenience, all that stuff plays a huge role in all of this. So
definitely. Another, and I think the third part about the foundations is, we already talked about some of the operations. We talked about the mindset, but also, you want to have somebody that is dedicated to the phones.
Yeah, so I want to say, you want to have somebody dedicated to the phones, and I would say also follow up. So like especially when it comes to generating new leads, like if you're at that point in your business where you're spending money to make money with advertising, then you want to have somebody that's dedicated and that is going to be responsible for following up with these leads and updating what is going on with these leads, right?
This is going to do two things. Like one of them is going to make sure that they are on that mindset and they are ready to go. They know the answers to most of these questions and they've been doing it for a while. And so they're ready for it, right?
Yeah, they're skilled. They're great at what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the second is, like you said, make somebody accountable. Because sometimes when you have a very large staff and everybody is kind of like
juggling roles,
around, yes, then so a message might go through the cracks, or a phone call, or somebody did not get followed up with. Somebody might have had a question about something and they said they were going to call them back, but they never did.
Yeah. Or and so we've seen it that when some of our clients have multiple people handling the phones, it's very disorganized and there's not great communication between the three different members. Something that I see very regularly is that
you just have to add a whole other process into it for communication.
And so we see a lot of times that like a new lead is generated and then they're like, oh, well, I'll let, maybe the person who saw it was doing a treatment like, oh, okay, well, I'll just let this other person deal with it. But then the person that she thought was actually doing something else, and she thought, well, I'm going to let this other person deal with it. And so it just becomes this whole mess, and it's just super disorganized.
And there's actually like a name for that. When somebody is in an accident and there's a bunch of people, everybody thinks that somebody else is going to call 911, but nobody ends up doing it.
Yeah.
You don't want that to happen. So if you are at that place where you have a lot of people, because you do have the demand, then you do have to incorporate a system, a good communication system in between all of your staff members.
Yeah.
But if you have a smaller staff, you can't want to have that one person dedicated to the phones. For sure.
And something else that I see a lot too is that like if I was handling a lead, but then the next day, I was supposed to call them the next day, but I don't work the next day. And then Bailey comes and now she's managing those leads. She's like, well, what do I do? Like, where did this person leave off with this lead that they were supposed to follow up with? So on and so forth. And so it just becomes, it's just a lot messy. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah,
exactly. But okay, so once you say, you know what, yes, you were right. Let's just make one person dedicated to this. How do I choose that person?
Ooh, well, like we said in the beginning, you want to find the person that has the best, has the most experience, has knowledge, that is willing to put in the work, and that you feel has a good character for doing that, has the capacity to doing this, because sometimes like it does take a specific type of person that has similar,
certain characteristics
in their personality that are a lot more likely to be successful on the phones or at your front desk.
Right. I feel like there are a lot of like phone skills that can be learned, but there is something in particular that just comes within a person, right?
For sure.
And there are a lot of people out there that, they might be like moody or, they just are, just like shy, but when that phone comes in, like they have like phone voice, like on point. So that might be a thing too, like you just need to know your staff and you need to know who is better at what, right? There are a lot of like personality tests out there that can help you out with this.
You can go to Chick-fil-A and be like, hey, do you want a new job? You can do that.
You can definitely do that. But definitely that's just gonna be something like very key to make sure that you have a successful phone person, right?
Yep.
But let's talk about some of the phone skills that can be learned and some tips and tricks here.
Okay, so first thing we want to say is that you want to have an energetic voice and you want to have good product knowledge and product and treatment knowledge, right? And so a little hack that I would let you guys know that's super like simple and important is like one of the easiest things that you can do when you're handling the phones is just smile.
Yes.
And so if you guys ever saw the movie of Wolf of Wall Street, this is actually one of the things that he excelled in. And then if you ever take his sales course, one of the things that he actually talks about, because there's a difference when you're actually doing in-person sales pitch, or a consultation, right? Body language that comes into play and all that stuff. But when you're on the phones, it's all your voice, right? And so the way that you sound, the way that you pronunciate, the way that you lower and raise your voice, those are all things that's super important. One of the quick things just to kind of sound a little bit more energetic, happy, is just smiling.
Yeah,
so smiling when you're on the phone, and so if you're on video, you can see me smiling right now, but if you're just listening to audio, you can actually just tell that now I sound a little bit happier because I'm forcing myself to smile.
You're forcing yourself to smile?
Yeah, well, I'm I'm smiling. I'm smiling as I'm talking, so it sounds very different from when I'm talking like this to sound like, hey, well, I'm talking like this now, And so just smiling when you're on your phone, like Bailey said, you can be standing up and that will actually help as well. But super simple stuff, guys, but make a world of difference.
Trick. Yeah. So we have a phone call here that I want to show you guys. And in this one, some of the things that I want to emphasize is it's a great greeting. I love how this person greets the phone, whoever is calling in. She knows what she's talking about, and she doesn't stutter when answering pricing questions, which I know is very important.
Yeah,
so definitely
it's a tough one.
Yeah,
but
so definitely practicing right before, and we're gonna go a little bit more into detail about some of the training that you can do with your staff. But these are some of the great ways, and let's kind of analyze this phone call.
Hi, this is. How may I help you?
Hi, my name's. I just got a text from you guys.
So one of the things I love about this is you right away see her energy, you kind of get it, and the person that called in imitates her tone of voice right away.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mimicking, another big sales
Yes,
thing.
ma'am. Are you interested in cool sculpting?
I am. I'm
Sure,
interested in your price.
Wonderful. So the cool sculpting cost really.
So in this one too, one of the little tips here and there is sometimes they're asking you questions, and that's why you have to have somebody that's knowledgeable about the different services, about the pricing, about everything within your business, right? And of course, one person might not have all the information right there with them. Yeah. So having it around your desk, post-its. Just a quick binder with some of the bullet points for each of them. It's very, very important.
I would say that you have you list out the services in a sheet, try to fit everything in 1 or 2 sheets, and you just kind of highlight what the price is, if there's any promotions going on, and then 3 specific features, and then maybe 3 benefits that you can outline. But it's just boom, simple, quick, because either way on the phone call, you don't want to go into very in depth, but you want to just give them enough so they feel confident that they're going to the right place. And then again, you try to move them towards, hey, do you want to schedule a consultation so you can learn more?
Yeah.
And
even some of the frequently asked questions. I don't know if you remember that episode in Friends where Phoebe has this phone she's at a printer toner, and they give her a binder with all of the frequently asked questions, and they're anything that anybody is going to ask is right in there. You can have something like that. So just make sure to be prepared.
For sure.
And of course, they're going to call you, you don't know what they're going to ask you, so having some something to say between those questions and you kind of gathering the answer is key. In this case, she's just wonderful, and she even takes her time. She's probably checking her notes,
bringing up her profile on the computer or something like that.
But you don't have that awkward silence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that is one of the things that I love about this call. So this next one is something kind of goes without saying. However, there's a lot of people that still do it.
Yes.
And it's not answering as a professional business.
Yeah, and so you'll listen, you'll hear this, and you're thinking to yourself, where am I calling, and am I calling a legit place?
Yes.
At the end of the phone call, I'm not sure if we'll play it, but this person was asking for a credit card for securing an appointment. But the way they answered the phone, it's it makes you even think well, am I calling a legit business?
Should I give my credit card information?
Is this a scam? Because I saw this ad on Facebook. Is this a scam?
You never know nowadays. Yeah, definitely.
Hello? Yes, I was calling. Did I call the right place?
Who are you looking for?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
This is...
Oh, yeah, that's
There
what I
you
was
go.
trying to call.
Finally.
I wasn't sure if I got the right number.
Oh, gosh.
Not a problem.
I just wanted to, I actually filled out something on Facebook earlier for a $400 off promotion that you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a text back, and I was just calling to get some information.
Okay. What's your name?
It's...
So, awkward silence. She's not saying... I have not paused it. This is just awkward silence.
Oh, there you are. All right, I see you now.
She starts doing that.
No. Here's a great place where you already know what she's talking about. I just paused it, but this is a great way, place for you to start handling that phone call and you guiding that phone call.
You guiding it, building rapport.
Right. You already know what she's calling about. You know that she's interested. Start asking her questions.
Yeah. I mean, simple stuff. I mean, you could obviously ask questions about the treatment or about her or whatever, but even just simple, how's your day going?
How's your day? Yeah.
Get her talking, especially if you're doing something and you need to stall, get them talking.
Yeah.
Again, you're trying to build rapport with them.
Yeah.
And so,
oh my God, yes, this is such a great procedure. What brings you in here? What are you looking for?
Okay, yeah. She said, I'm calling in for the $400 off promotion. She's like, you could say, oh yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad you're taking advantage of that. We only have a few of those left. So what's motivated you to actually want to look into this treatment?
Yeah. I'm gonna keep playing this one because
Sure.
I think it's one of the worst ones, and I want you guys to see, hear it.
Sorry, I'm on my computer trying to find all your information. Ooh, okay, so you were interested in
the cool sculpting.
Yeah, she had to remind her.
Yeah.
Don't tell them that you're looking up for their information.
What question?
And that was one of the other things too. And this happens all the time, but and we've talked about it in other episodes. But if you're running a promotion, let your staff know, and remind them multiple times. We've had situations where our client, where people are answering the phone, they're like, oh my God, and it's they don't even know. Yeah,
let me ask the manager.
Yeah, let me ask the manager. Let me ask the owner. Oh, she's not here right now, so can we call you back? I mean, it's so bad.
We had that one phone call where they did that, and they left the person on hold for minutes.
Yeah.
Full on minutes. And in a phone call, that's a lot of time.
Yeah. And so I mean, and when we talked to the owner afterwards, said, you know what, I literally told them but I mean, and you have to tell them multiple times. And again, if you're running a promotion, you want to put it, print out whatever those promotions are and put it in front of them because they're going to forget.
Yeah.
And it happens all the time when all of a sudden, you think you know something and then you answer the phone and then blank. You just space
it
out.
happens.
It happens.
Which is why you need to be prepared and just set up yourself for success.
Yeah.
So there are little things that you can do just to make sure that doesn't happen to you.
So here's the part where the whole credit card thing happens, so you can check it out.
Yes.
And a phone number that's good to reach?
It's 757.
And you saw us on Facebook, correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. I have you down at 6 o'clock on Tuesday the 13th, and I will just need a credit card to keep on file to hold this appointment.
Oh, I thought it was free.
Well, we have the 24-hour cancellation policy that we do need a credit card to keep on file until the appointment.
So before you ask for the credit card, tell them why, right? So I have you down for this and this date, blah, blah, blah. Now, to hold in this appointment, we would like to, and you explain to them why, and then you ask for their information.
And so if you're going to ask for credit cards, guys, obviously you have to be very tactful, and your staff needs to be trained into how to request that credit card, because you're always going to have situations like this. And you can really minimize the resistance, but it just really goes the most important thing here is just how you present that, asking them for that. So
right. And if you've already like kind of started building rapport, you answer really, like, hi, how is your day going?
They actually feel like they're calling a legit business.
It's going to be more than, they might still have questions, of course. I mean, they want to make sure that you are a business that they can trust. But at the end of the day, it might be less of that resistance and less of that awkward silence.
For sure. And so it turns into this whole deal, right? At the end of the day, she actually ends up giving the credit card information. I don't know how, but anyway.
She's a nice person.
Yeah, she was a nice person. But then guess what? A day later, she called and she canceled.
So, yes. Oh, gosh.
And so...
Okay, so we have one last phone. I know this is a long episode by now, but we do have a last phone call that I want to show you guys. And I really, this one is not bad per se, but I feel like there's a lot of things that they could have done better. Yeah. One of them for sure is ask somebody like a phone number just in case you disconnect. For also like ask at least their names. If you already have a system that kind of like handles all of your leads and you already have their name, phone number, stuff like that, you just want to make sure to corroborate that information. But also in case you disconnect, just to follow up with them, stuff like easy things, stuff like that. Let's see, here it is.
Hello? Oh, yes.
Okay. They might have been a little bit more prepared.
How can I help you?
Yes, I actually have a question. I'm interested in your program, but I was wondering if you could tell me more about it.
The
cool sculpting?
Oh, the cool sculpting. Yes, absolutely. So cool sculpting is a treatment that freezes fat. So fat cells are more vulnerable than any other cell in the body, so it's a very safe and effective treatment.
So, one of the things that I would have done here differently is instead of just, like she said she had questions or she wanted to learn more about cold sculpting, instead of me just blabbing on and kind of maybe going on a whole spiel about it, I would have said, well, great, what questions do you have?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, guys, you want to be succinct. And in a few of our other episodes, I think Cassie has talked about this too, where, you want to be clear and concise, and that is just, and because actually this is also a thing in sales, like the more you talk and blabber on, for lack of a better word, the less confident you will sound, because it feels like you're trying to emphasize a point and people will actually feel that, where, and really sales, that's all sales is. It's a transfer of confidence. And so
transfer of energy.
Yeah, transference of energy as well. And so you want to make sure that whatever you're conveying to them is, that you sound confident, that you know what you're talking about. And a lot of the times when you know what you're talking about, you don't blabber on. You're clear and you're concise, and that's it.
Yeah.
And so again, like I would have just said, oh, great. Well, what questions do you have? And then that also kind of puts you in the position of power as well. Like you are in control. Yeah. And so even if you're, she asks the question, you answer, great. What other questions can I answer for you?
Yeah. And this is also a great way to build rapport, because you start getting to know this person as well. What are their concerns? What do they want to do this for? Whether, right away you can guide them to another treatment. And you also want to leave them with a little bit of like wanting to know more and actually wanting to come over to the consultation. Because if you give them the entire information, they may be like, okay, well, let me call somebody else and see if that's the same thing over there. Maybe they might even have a better pricing.
Yeah.
So you just want to give them the exact information that they want, they need, and it is a little strategic to make sure that they come to their actual consultation.
And then talk about treatment options.
Okay, and how much does this normally run?
It completely depends. It depends.
So she starts asking about like how much it costs, and she gives a great answer as well, just making sure that they come in for the consultation.
With each treatment, it can provide up to a 25% reduction. So if there's no...
Okay, so I think like that's pretty much it. She just kind of keeps on talking about the pricing, blah, blah. But at the end, it just kind of goes like the person who is calling in, she's like, oh, okay, well, thanks for the information. I'll call back. And they hang up.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Like, she never asked for her name.
Oh.
She never asked for her name.
She never asked for the name, the phone number, email. No way to follow up with that person.
Yeah, so all she did was leave that power to this person that was calling. Did she ever call again?
Yeah, we don't know.
But actually, probably. I don't think she did because we don't have her as like she never came in for an appointment, nothing like that. So maybe life got busy, she never called back. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure to have that information so you can follow up.
Yeah, and I think if I remember correctly, I don't think she even asked for if she wanted to come in for a consult.
No, she did. She did ask for that, but that's when she said like, "Oh, I'm kind of busy. I'm not sure. Let me call back. I'm gonna check my schedule." That's a good one. I'm gonna check my schedule and call you back. Okay. And that's where you want to say like, for sure. If anything, can I have a phone number? You should have asked for that before, but can I have a phone number to call you back? Just follow up.
Yeah.
It's best if you ask for it before because at even that moment they might just say like, "Oh, that's okay. I'll just call you back." So you should have had that information before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that way in the beginning, if you say, "Oh, can I get your number just in case we get disconnected?" And that will actually make them want to give it to you versus towards the end, they might not be so willing.
Yeah. So, okay, so those are like the 3 calls that we wanted to show you guys. But just really quickly, some like quick tips to make sure that you have a good, flawless conversation. It's exactly that. You need to handle these phone calls as a conversation. It's a 2-way thing, and you must have control of it.
Yeah.
You can use personal testimonials. That is also a great way to start building rapport with somebody. If you already know what they're calling for and you've had that treatment, somebody that had that treatment, another patient.
And this is why we say it's good to have like one person dedicated to this because they're going to get really good at their craft, Yeah. And so, you can't beat that at the end of the day, right? Mm-hmm. And that's so valuable too because they're going to have the most practice. And so one of the things that we always say is that you want to practice, right? Yes. Train. Mm-hmm. And so some of our better clients, the ones who are really good at this, they actually they do role playing. And so every once a month, they gather all their staff members and they record these phone calls, so they just go through them. And really it's no judgment or anything of the sort. It's really just about, hey, we know it's a hard job. It is. Let's just laugh about it, and then let's talk about how we can actually do better.
Laugh about the bad, awkward phone calls.
Yeah.
And let's just see where can we make changes to fix it.
Yeah.
Because it's also like as you go out, like if you are the person handling the phones, you might have really bad phone calls, and that's okay. But let's just move forward with it, and let's just see what can be done to make you better, right, at it. And like you said, just make sure to be really good at your craft.
Yeah.
So definitely we recommend to have monthly, bi-monthly trainings or just meetings where you can talk about what went really wrong, what went really, really well, and just make sure to improve on that.
Yeah. And so simple ways so you can improve it, everyone, is just do some role playing. How would you handle the price call? How would you handle a call in regards to a specific treatment? How do you handle that person is just asking all of these questions?
And wants a consultation through the
phone. And really, so again, practice makes perfect. It's really important. And so just try to role play, even though I know sometimes role playing might feel a little bit awkward, but this is what it takes, everyone. This is what it takes to really get to that next level in your business. So don't belittle it. Don't put it aside. Don't say you'll do it later. Schedule it and then actually do it. Yeah. And then
and start those frequently asked questions, those SOPs.
The SOPs,
start making
the binders,
those already.
The manuals, all that stuff is super important, and it's just going to help your business in the long term
and your people.
Yeah. All right. Was that pretty much it, man? That was a long episode.
That was
we're at 50 minutes. I'm so sorry. But hopefully you found it educational, and you'll be able to take it home and apply it. So or take it to your business and apply it. Sorry.
Right.
And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, we still have our giveaway going on right now.
We still have our giveaway going on in honor of our 1-year anniversary. So if you want to win a 3-month license, and this is going out to 3 people, there's a link on here. Go on there. This is what you have to do. Number 1, if you have to go and leave us a review on iTunes. And then once you do that, there's another link. You just go there, fill out the survey, and then leave your information. If you do win, this is how we're going to get in contact with you. So make sure that it's a good phone or a good email address, and we can make sure to have that information. But you're going to have a 3-month license to Patient Gem. We're going to help you set it up, help you get it going and get it to a place where you can really use it to help you grow your business. So
and you can start recording those phone calls.
You can start recording those phone calls with it. Yeah. So, all right, everyone. If you have any questions, if you have additional content that you would like for us to talk about, you would like our opinion on, please let us know. And if you want to join our Facebook group, there's a link on here as well. There's people just like you on the Facebook group. So we encourage you guys to go on there and just be part of the group where we share, special content and all that good stuff. Make sure to tune in for next week because we're going to have a really cool episode where we talk about more of these SOPs. And there's even going to be a downloadable piece of content that you can actually take to your business with you and just really, apply it. So
yeah. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to give us a like
and subscribe,
comment, and subscribe. Yes.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Have an awesome day. Keep at it, and we'll catch you all next week. See you.